Okay, so now we're going to look at how you add students to the WISE app now that we have our courses and our classes built from the first video. So we're going to go ahead and just enter in the app real quick. And once we get into the app, you can see that we've got our two classes that we built from the first video. We don't have any students entered in. We haven't scanned any tests yet. And so that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to add some students to the app. So the first thing we want to look at is this store button right here. And the store actually will show you all of the documents that you're going to need for using the app. So you have everything all in one place here. You've got your test forms as well as your student entry sheet. So the first thing we're going to look at is this student entry sheet here. And this is going to be the fastest way to enter in multiple students into the app. And what you can see here is this is our student entry sheet. And at the top you see we've got the print icon, and then we also have the email icon. So you can either email it directly to yourself and print it from there, or if you have your device hooked up to a printer, you can print it straight from your device. So what you want to do with these is before you're going to enter your students in, you want to print these out and then make as many copies as you have students so that each student will fill one out, and you're going to give it to them, and you're going to have them, you can see here you've got last, first, and middle name. Middle is not that important, but just make sure when they're doing this they should fill out their last name. Okay, so you want them to do last name here, then do a full column of blank, and be careful down here because this is a hyphen for people who have hyphenated last names. It's not a blank. So when you do last name, do blank and then do the first name. Down here you've got their student ID number, so hopefully they have this from their school or from their school ID. They'll just bubble that in right here. And this is the way that the app is going to recognize their tests from now on. So they'll bubble in their ID every time they take a test. And so the ID will show up on the test form as well. And so this is what's going to link the student. So make sure that they bubble that correctly. And then the class ID, that comes from where we built our classes in the first video. The class ID that you selected for each class period, that's what you're going to put. So for us, the first hour kids had a class ID of 1, so all the kids in first hour will bubble 1 there, so that's where the app knows where to file them to put them into that first hour class. Okay, so from here we're going to assume that we've got all that filled out. You want to print those out, have all your students fill them in. So we're going to go back here. Once you have them all filled out, the easiest way to enter them in, like I said, is just going to be to scan them in. And these scan in just like a regular test. So we'll go ahead and use the quick key down here at the bottom to get into the test screen. And what you can see is we've got this green dotted line box around the edge, and you want to make sure the entire form is contained in that dotted line region. So just like you're taking a picture, make sure it's focused. You can look on your phone and see. So this looks like this is going to be a nice scan. So you want to make sure you hold it above the form. It'll grab the edges of the box. And you can see that we've got LeBron going into my first hour chemistry class. He's got to learn some chemistry. So that's student number 1. And then if you're good with that, just go ahead and hit the check mark. And for the next one, again, same thing. We're just going to make sure that we have it lined up and then click the box, and we've got Beyonce going into my first hour chemistry class as well. And the next one, we're going to go ahead and enter one more. So you can see it focused there. So let the camera on your device focus, and we've got George Washington entering into first hour chemistry. Do just a couple more real quick. Got Peter Parker going in to first hour chem. And the last one we've got here is Adam Sandler. And you can see that with Adam here, he entered in, instead of leaving it blank, he used the hyphen there. And this is okay. The main thing that you want to make sure is correct when you scan this in is going to be the last name and the ID. The first name or hyphens is not that big of a deal, and the app will organize them alphabetically. And so that's the main thing you want to look at when you're doing that. If you do need to make any alterations to the student name, the student ID, or to manually enter in kids, we're going to show you how to do that next. So I'll just go ahead and enter Adam in, and then knowing that we're going to have to edit that data a little bit, I'm going to go back, and I'm going to go back to the dashboard, and we're going to, you can see now, right, we've got those 5 students entered into my class. So Adam, I need to edit those, so I'm going to go into the organizer, and I'm going to go into manage students right now. And you can see that the 5 that we had in there are going to be organized by last name, and they all have the blue 1 here saying that they're each assigned into one class. They're all in my first hour chemistry class. And Adam is the one that I need to edit. So I'm going to click on him, and got the ID number there, and then all you do is just edit it just like you would edit anything. So you just delete the spot that you want to replace, or if the first name's wrong or anything like that, then just hit return and go ahead and save it. And so now that's fixed right there. You can also, if you are just wanting to add in a couple kids, you can just go to new student, and you've just got a blank student ID, last, first, middle name here, and then you just click which one of these classes. These are the 2 classes we had built out. So if they're in first hour chemistry, you would just click right here, and it's going to assign them to that class. But we're not putting anyone in right now, so I'm just going to hit cancel. And that's it. That's what it takes to enter your students in. So it is a lot faster to use the student entry sheet instead of just manually entering in kids, but you can enter them in one at a time manually. The main thing is just make sure that you've got the whole sheet clearly in the screen, and you're holding it nice and steady, and you get a clean shot on that, and it'll pick up their name and their ID, and then you'll have all your kids filed away. And then just like adding courses and classes, adding students only has to be done one time. So it does take a little bit of preparation up front, but once that's done, you're ready to keep scanning for the rest of the year. So with that, we're ready to start scanning tests, so we're going to show you that in the next video.